A flower called Angelico?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought he came after that there character in Star Trek. Yeah, what is it? Commander Jellicoe.
Commander Jellicoe? Never heard of that.
Sometime.
I know there was a war picture. I don't remember who was in it, but they showed up some of the real people where they were from at the end of it. You know, showing pictures of them going through. There was one from Jellicoe, Tennessee, in there.
Well, I thought it was named
somebody.
I don't remember the name.
I thought it was named.
That was one of those old black and white war pictures from 1930s, and they made it about World War II.
Grace Moore, was that her name? She was a
Opera singer?
Yeah.
Whatever.
an opera. Wasn't an opera singer, she's an opera singer.
Well, I thought it was named after that biblical city that where they marched around and the walls fell.
Jericho.
There you go, Jerry.
Yeah.
That's where it's from. I thought that's where it's named from.
Named after Jerry Kidd.
Yeah. Jericho.
There'd been Jellicoe, it'd been named after, you know, Smuckers. With a name like Smuckers, you gotta change it to Jelly.
Angelico. Welcome all the Angelico people to
Well, they might be able to hear us.
Wild Bob and Ron radio show.
If they got a good antenna, they might hear us over Jellicoe.
How about
What, Jerry? You got an excursion planned for Monday? Something about
Tuesday? I'm gonna be out of town Tuesday.
Some of them business encouraging seminars or something.
Well, what it is our senator, our esteemed Senator Ken Yeager, and
The one that got us the international.
Yeah,
I mean the Obama Energy Initiative codes.
Help get us, yeah, and our esteemed representative Dennis Powers. They're working so hard to bring new business into this area and to validate existing business that are here, that they've given me the opportunity to go before the state election board and demonstrate my software and get recertified.
Now, let me ask you a question.
I've been certified 2 or 3 times already.
Let me ask you a question. Do you reckon being politically involved and on radio and television and internet would make you more prone to be recertified, or am I just guessing?
Oh, no, you know Mr. Yeager and Dennis Powers. They're so upstanding and men with such great character. You know, they would never...
And credentials.
They would, and credential. They would never stoop to politics. They would never use a government agency or a government department to try to go after one of their citizens who has a local business and brings money into the community, has employees here. You know, they would do everything they could to help me, and I'm looking forward to going down. And they've given me that opportunity.
You practically invented the system too, didn't you?
Just about. I was the first person to apply microcomputer technology to election offices in the state of Tennessee. And at one time I had more counties than anyone else. I haven't aggressively marketed in the last few years. I've been focusing on support and service.
What do you do exactly?
I provide software for election offices, county election offices.
What does that mean? Is it like toilet paper, software, or what
software is computer programs that allow them to do the task in their election offices with greater ease, and it's a records management system.
Well, now that clears that up. It ain't got nothing to do with down here. Nobody, I mean, with Great Northern. Or...
No, I had. I was the first one to use what's called real-time TPR, which is transaction processing, where a person could come up to the window of an election office, show their driver's license, give certain information. They could enter it in the computer right there, print their ID card, their registration card, let them sign them and go. 1 minute.
That's better than voter registration.
Well, whereas batch processing is where they fill out the cards. You know, they have to sit down, fill them out, hand them over, and then the person in the election office has to hand type a ID card to show at the precinct when they vote. I automated all that stuff, and processed elections and everything. It was a real honor to work in this state, and I am so honored to be invited by the Yeager Powers amendments to the state law, which they passed last year, to recertify all the vendors, and I really look forward to it. It's an honor to address those issues and show what I've done for this state.
Do you have any brothers-in-law in politics?
Brothers-in-law?
Yeah.
No.
Do you have any competitors whose brother-in-law happen to be in politics?
Oh, I have competitors in Tennessee.
I'd say that they probably got more brothers-in-laws than you do.
In fact, they all used to say, "Oh, that kid, he ain't gonna last long. You know, he's a fly-by-nighter. He's gonna be here today and
they had you
be gone."
pretty good, didn't they?
And but a lot of those companies, like Triad out of Ohio or Kemp out of Greenville, Tennessee, those companies are gone now. There was a company out of Arkansas came in. They're gone. They couldn't even manage to be successful in one county. They sold a county, and but they couldn't get anything to work. So they took their tail between their legs and left. So there's only 4 vendors. So I have a very short presentation and handouts, and it's going to be very professional. And
well, that'll be unusual.
such a great honor to work with.
I mean, professional.
Within the environment of parameters set by our great senator and our great representative.
I bet they're just trying to get you one of them there crony capitalism things, get you in there so you can corner the market and take over the whole darn state.
Hey, when I slapped my J.D. Powers trophy for having the best software in the history of the state of Tennessee in the election environment up there on the table in front of me,
Have you got one of them?
should impress them. Oh, yeah, anybody that's ever done anything innovative and creative, you know's got one of them.
I don't even know J.D. Powers. Ain't kin to Dennis?
I would say there's probably a distant relationship
That
there.
might be.
But I got this award before he got elected.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure if it had been decided after he was elected, I'd probably got a half a dozen.
J.D. Powers ain't brother-in-law or nothing, is he? Well, never mind. I'm off on the wrong track. So you don't...
But it's real interesting to do business in an environment where your senator and representative is so much in favor of helping local business and promoting them as much as possible before the state boards so that you'd be famous all over the state rather than just in your area. And it's a real honor to work with
you know,
great political...
possibly get international, but at least national attention out of this if all goes well.
Well, I'd say if we'd had this meeting, this certification a couple of weeks ago, I might have been on the podium down there with Biden and Obama and Alexander and
Aflac Duck.
And Corker.
Aflac Duck.
And Corker.
You know, the Aflac Duck wants to raise our gas tax 12 cents a gallon. He says that we've not had a gas tax increase since the early 90s, and they've been taking the money out of the Highway Trust Fund and spending it on something else. So his solution is give them more money, not reform the system and throw them our thieves in jail, but give them more money. And the Aflac Duck, who I have never voted for.
Folks, you can call the Wild Bob and Ron show if you have anything to say at 562-3557 or 566-1450.
I'd like for all you people watching on the internet to please forgive our camera operator. Every now and then that certain operator gets to giggling and things get a little jiggly. But
I thought she just had the shakes.
She's not had her shot. She's not had her shot, so she's not hardly used to this camaraderie we got here.
Well, Mr. Henson, what do you think about the visit to Clinton last week? Did that come off as they had planned, or have you heard anything new about it? Or?
Well, I'd say it came off as planned.
You were talking about a word there that was one of your favorites
I'll
called
tell
free.
you what.
Was that word thrown around down there in Clinton quite a bit Friday?
I believe I'm
yesterday.
going to take a different stance and start showing a whole lot more respect for the most powerful man, I guess, on earth right now, the leader of the free world and whatever else. You know, if you stop and think about it, he travels by one of the most advanced aircraft, whatever else in the world. He has at his beck and call the greatest military that I guess this world's ever known. Bombs or the weapons that we probably can't even imagine. Can most likely have anyone on earth.
And he's got a woman that knows how to raise his garden in the backyard of the White House wearing them $3,900 sneakers.
Well, didn't they used to have sheep and goats
Probably.
out there grazing?
I don't know
Was that Calvin Coolidge or?
All I know about the watermelon patch in the backyard.
One of the presidents used to get out there and hit golf balls in the snow, have them painted black so he could find them.
Well, he can most likely, if just a nod or whatever, have anybody on earth taken out, most likely. Now, this is a guy.
We better straighten up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking we better show a little more respect. But
Now he knows where we're located. He's been here.
Let me tell you about how George got drunk one night and got lost. They got drunk and they took a shortcut home and they got lost in the woods. And they was out there and George said, well, let's just pray and let God find us a way home. So they got down on their knees and took their hats off. And George says, Lord, this is George and old Hawk, and we're lost. And Hawk just jumped up and slapped him in the head with his hat and said, George said, what's the matter with you? What's the matter? He said, you done told him who we are now. They lost over around the Sharp graveyard, as I understand. That's been about 1930, probably.
Anyway, gentlemen, that was a day in history. No president has ever, from my understanding, visited Clinton.
You mean Bill didn't visit his namesake?
Well, I listened to this thing. I listened to his speech, and I can make a few jokes like if I'd listened to any more of it, I believe I'd have went to go and start using the pens because I thought I was going to whatever. But anyhow, he used words there that I had never paid much attention to. Basically, what he said was, and I'm sure he says that any person in the United States who graduates from high school is entitled to 2 years of free community college. Free. Now, I've got a little book that I carry 4-letter words in. You know, like if I mash my finger or something blows up, I take my little book out and I see which is the appropriate words to use, you know, in 4-letter words. I can't remember them, so I have to take it out, and every now and then I'll have to add a new one if I come up with a new one. But anyhow, he used the word free. And I kept trying, what does free actually mean? So I went to that little book dictionary thing and looked it up. And the meaning of free is, it takes up about a half page. I think the Bible would kind of call it like manna from the sky was free. And I believe the air we breathe and the rain that falls out of the sky. Go ahead and take a call.
Wild Bob and Ron Show.
Honey, we can't hear you. They turned the volume down just before you come on, so we can't hear you.
Well, we'll check on that and see. You can't hear us now?
865.
It's too low.
Too low? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can't get some technical. Let's make sure we're turned on, too. Yeah, we're on. You're on our microphones.
Well, now they turned it down just before the show. Come on.
Well, do you reckon that the NSA or something didn't want to hear what we got to say?
I think so.
That may be it. They may have aimed the beam at us or something.
Obama knows where we're at now. Our volume's too low. Can you help
Can you
turn
help
it
turn
up?
our volume up? Can you help turn our volume up?
No, our volume's too low.
Volume on our mics, can you help turn? I believe Ronnie's working on it right now. Are you still there?
He's got it.
Okay, is that better?
No.
It ain't no better.
It ain't no better.
It ain't
Well,
no
they say
better.
it's fixed. I don't know. Hang on.
Okay, hang on a minute. We'll try it
Well,
again.
they say it's fixed.
Okay.
Hang on just
Okay.
a minute. We'll try it and you can see.
She hung up.
Okay.
Thank you for the call.
How are you folks? Better late than never at my age.
Well, who won the game, Bob?
Carolina, 1 point.
1 point.
I
Who
think
were they
one
playing?
Louisville.
Oh, they did
Yeah,
well.
They say, tell her to check her equipment. They say we're okay here. I don't know anything else.
Okay, they claim we're okay. Check your equipment and see if it's okay.
Well, you know we're okay with it. It's the mics we're worried about.
I'm worried about North Carolina. How bad they get beat?
Did y'all
They won.
tell all kind of lies on me while I was gone?
Y'all, we crucified you, Bob.
Well, I ain't got a radio.
I hope you didn't tell the truth.
You got a radio?
You got to turn my truck.
That would be too damaging.
Yeah, said that right.
Well, if you want to check it or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll go out there and check it. Be back in a minute.
He's gonna see if he can hear us.
Give me a
okay.
count.
This is one way to run a show, I
Yeah,
reckon.
said that right.
Live and online, folks.
Right.
This is what's called real-time TPR, transaction processing. You get the words as we spit them out.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, being right there on scene.
Oh, you got company through that hole.
While I'm running.
Ain't nothing wrong with the volume.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you
That's
so
one
much.
of their
Thank you very
sponsors.
much.
Look, throw in a plug for that guy back there helping us out.
You mean the one that got off the train, the engineer?
I don't know.
Yeah, we got somebody back there helping.
Bond, Mr. Bond.
Huh?
Mr. Bond.
Is that what it is? All righty. We appreciate it. What's the topic of discussion besides me?
Mr. Bond.
Huh?
Mr. Bond. He said plug Mr. Bond.
Mr.
Bond.
Mr. Bond, is he back there?
Yeah.
Well, he probably come up here to transport me. You know that's what he does.
Well, we get worried about you when you're not here.
I guarantee he has transported me before.
Was it something good to remember or?
Well, yeah, it was good. It was good.
Okay, thank you much.
It was good
Oh,
that
I want to get a word in edgewise.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Henson was talking about the word free.
Yes.
If he listened real close, ours is free for the state of Tennessee. Because the dummies that buy the lottery tickets is paying for this. It's the excess money that they had left over from the lottery tickets. But Mr. Obama comes in to get on the coattails, and he said that the federal government would pay for 75%, and it would be left up to each state to pay 25%. So who is the federal and the state besides us?
That's a good point. But if
We
you'll,
are going to have to pay for everybody in the United States.
Well, I don't know. They might have a plan where the teachers will teach for free. The food will come in for free. The
Sure.
farmers give it away free.
It's
The
fine.
agricultural department will haul it to the schools free. The cooks will work for nothing. And it'll all be free.
We
If-
pigs fly.
if there's an article.
You know, there's a road up there going out to Cumberland Trail up there, Cumberland, what was it? The Daniel Boone Trail.
Cumberland Gap.
Yeah, going from Cumberland Gap out toward eastern Tennessee, where they. Anyway, there's a road up there called Flying Pig Road. I figured
Well,
probably to live.
there's a sign up there at Cumberland Gap that says this way to Tennessee. And them people that could read came to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Them people that couldn't read stayed in North Carolina or went to Kentucky.
Yep. The ones that couldn't find a horse stayed in North Carolina.
Fellas, there's an article in the paper.
And we still online there on
Yeah,
Yeah,
lady's
she's
still
on-
with
yeah.
us.
Still there?
Yes, ma'am. There's an article, and if you get down to some of the fine print, it states that the state of Tennessee and Chicago are not going to receive anything out of this due to the fact that they've already set up their own program. And any outfit, any state or whatever that has their own program, which at this point in time is only Tennessee and Chicago, that they don't get anything out of this if you read the fine print of the thing. And
She got tired waiting on this.
yeah, but he said that it was free. And the way he said it, and he may have not meant, which now, being the leader of the free world, I think you got to take his word that he's an honorable person. But now we may have got Gruberized on this thing. What that Gruberism?
Oh, we get Gruberized every
Okay.
day.
Now,
It just now we have a word for it.
if you listen to the technical way he said it, he said every student. He didn't say every American citizen or nothing like that. He said every student will be entitled to this. Now, they gave a number that this would that 9 million students would qualify for this at $3,800 on the average per student. If you multiply that thing, providing we haven't changed the meaning of numbers, now I know we're changing the meaning of words, but if you multiply 9 million times 3,400 or 3,800, you come up with about 34 billion, and that's per year. Now,
That's just chump change.
I don't mean nothing, but here's the thing. Now, like I say, I'm starting to change my way of thinking about things. I think that I, at one time, would have thought that the American taxpayer would be paying this $38 billion a year if they implement it totally the way described. But if you stop to think, back about a few years back, we had all of our major banks were actually bankrupt. They're going to close down. The automobile industry was bankrupt.
2008.
Right, they were bankrupt. Now, all of a sudden, we took care of this. We printed money. Well, I don't even think we printed the money. All we did was went in and put numbers on an account and solved the problem. So, see, this, if it's 30 billion or whatever it is a year, all we've got to do is just
Zeros are cheap.
well, just write a few numbers in and it's taken care of. And I've heard, I've brought
Would you mind sending that idea to Senator Bob Corker so he will back off the 12-cent tax increase?
why not just print more money? I mean,
exactly.
you take
they don't
like
need more taxes. They just need to print more
More
money.
as long as
More zero.
as long as the people who are buying our paper don't wise up, as long as we can gooberize them, and they'll buy our paper, they're buying it right now at a certain price. Well, we'll sell it to them, and I've heard it said that we don't intend to pay them back nohow. So if they'll buy our paper, and Russia owns a lot of it right now, and I don't think Russia's going to be buying any more of it for a while.
They're having problems with
but-
the ruble.
Well, okay, let these people buy this paper, these bonds. And then, after so many years, when the interest comes due, all we'll do is print some more of them and pay them with them. We just keep printing it and paying them. So we don't never have to pay it back. So, somewhere
Somebody
down...
work on my house and car and that there hunting dog I bought.
Well, now, it's worked so far, hasn't it? So
No, I ain't printed no money yet.
Well, let's don't rock the boat. Let's just keep printing the money.
Well, let me ask you something. If all they've got to do is insert these numbers,
Right.
why do they have to sell bonds to other countries?
Well, that the other countries will send us money back. They will buy our bonds, and all it is
Well,
a
you don't
Ponzi.
need to print any money. All
No.
you need to do is print bonds.
That's right. Put down numbers, and it's a big Ponzi scheme. Is all it is.
Well,
Only it's one of the biggest
if
ones in the
all you
world.
got to do is insert some numbers into an account, then you would not have to sell bonds.
That's right.
The bonds are an indebtedness
that
this
is correct.
country has, okay?
That's correct.
That's probably no way near secured by gold or anything of value.
You got the
other
full faith and credit of the United States.
Right, which has been downgraded one notch.
Well, we've got nothing to worry about then. As long as we can put these numbers in, we have nothing to worry about.
World War I
It
and World War
worked.
II were paid for by actually selling treasury bonds.
But they were backed
Then
up.
under Kennedy, we reverted to a new system called the Keynesian deficit spending system.
Okay.
And I think from that time on, the laws have changed where they don't even have to really sell bonds. You know, now sometimes they'll get China to buy $1 trillion worth or Russia to buy $1 trillion worth. But, you know, last year they printed $85 billion a month and just turned, the Federal Reserve did, and just turned it over to the banks. The banks turn around, invest in the stock market. Stock market's going through the roof.
The
unemployment's probably 27, 28, 29%. We got 97 million people out of work, but they claim unemployment's less than 6%.
We got less people working today than were working in 1962.
And I would say we have a lot more people unemployed than we had any time during the Depression.
Let me ask you something with your facetious argument. I hope that argument is facetious.
It's as dumb as anything else that we're hearing.
If that would hold true, why is it that a small county like Campbell County has more indebtedness than a larger county than Knox County has? You know, Knox County has just a little less than $100 million in indebtedness. Campbell County has over $100 million indebtedness. Why aren't we doing better than them?
We got better
if we go back to the same principle as what's being said about the government never intending to pay off our national debt, I don't think Campbell County ever intends to pay off its debt. All it's going to do is pay the interest on it. Now, have you ever seen, or when was the last time you heard of anything in Campbell County paying back or paying down their debt?
Well, me and Ronnie got paid back.
Yeah, we paid back big time, especially Bob.
Got paid back?
They paid us back.
What do you mean now?
Well,
I'm lost.
They drove up there with a city truck. They drove up there with a city truck, hauled everything off.
There's different kinds of payback.
Right, I see what you're saying.
What kind one kind is, though.
By the way,
you should have called our great elected politicians who back local business.
Did you fellas
You should have called Ken Yeager and Dennis Powers, and you wouldn't have had a problem.
Did you fellas see anything about that guy peeping through the window a minute ago?
What?
We started to, but we got a phone call and got interrupted.
Maybe we
need to go back. We need to go back
I'll
to
tell
that.
them who's looking through the window there.
Okay.
That was Mr. Bond.
What? About what?
Mr. Bond.
What was I telling?
You were talking about riding
Mr.
around
John.
in Mr. Bond's vehicle.
Mr.
Not
John.
James,
Yeah.
John.
You talking about John's over John?
John Bond.
On the house out back. Which one you talking about?
He was right there in the window behind you, Bob, peeking in.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the John out back.
Have you
You wouldn't want to ride around.
have you ever noticed who we stop up the hole with here?
You know, John told me something the other day.
Bob, let's talk about something you know. What is it? What does NAPA stand for?
John told me the other day that he was thoroughly convinced that people were still requesting his ambulance in spite of us.
Well, that just shows the tenacity of Campbell County, don't it?
But let me tell you something that is serious. John runs a good company. It's a private company. It's privately owned. It does not cost the taxpayers any money for them to use. Taxpayers any money for someone to use their services. They're well equipped, well trained, courteous. They're there to do a service to the people that choose them.
How do we get a hold of them, Bob?
But I don't have no idea.
Well, we can call 911 and ask for them. Ask for vital
That
care.
used to be the number for 562-9370. But just like somebody wanted to know what my sign was, I said, well, I used to be a Leo until they made me quit.
Well, we got in trouble giving out 911.
Right, because you're in trouble.
Yeah, I remember that.
But what I want to say, do you realize when all these ambulance calls are called out, you ever notice that they're always Campbell County ambulances? Did you know the city refused to put vital care on a rotation basis where they call the county one, then they call vital care one, and vice versa?
Why?
Well, that's what I asked him, and I tell you, the Pollock City Council is basically anti-business.
Oh, I know that.
Well, that's big. That's
the reason.
true.
They're anti-private business.
Well, we know to call 562-9370, don't
Yeah,
we?
we do. But there's no reason in the world if they can put the record service on a rotating phone basis and keep up with that. The only reason I figure is if there's an accident and it's vital care's time to go, they probably will not send 3 ambulances to one fender bender.
Well, now, here's another thing. If an individual calls 911, they can request vital care, can't they?
Yeah, it's true. But
Good.
somebody laying out on the hood of his car crashed through the windshield, unless he's got it tattooed on his forehead, they're not going to know to call vital care.
So you're saying that if an official person, an official of the city of La Follette calls, they make sure to get Campbell County?
If somebody
If an official of the city, I mean a cop or a fireman or a ditch digger calls in, they call Campbell County and overlook
No,
vital care.
what I'm saying, if the accident is reported by the La Follette police,
Yeah.
then they are not to call vital care, they are to call a county ambulance.
That don't seem hardly
Well,
fair.
don't me, I just learned about it
Do
yesterday.
the city officials not know that vital care is a tax-paying, license-buying
This went
business?
before the city council, and the city council turned it down.
Well, then we need a new city council.
Yes, we do. Well,
Well, they're too busy picking locks to get by with anything else.
You've got one or two there that have no respect for honesty with the city
Well, I could
treasurer.
name more than one or two, but I won't.
Well, I'm talking about just on the city council.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
the 4 on there, plus the mayor. So you couldn't have 5 that have no respect for the city treasury, you
Well,
know.
the only business you run in this county is lawnmower repair business. I
Well,
mean, this
yeah,
city.
you can do that without,
We don't have to do any paperwork.
well, you
on that.
also you could be part of, going to the penitentiary and visiting, you know, make sure everybody's okay down there.
Yeah.
So,
But you know, we've got that new lock drilling service is opening up. We're gonna have to plug that too.
the new what?
That new lock drilling service.
Yeah. You know, and they do a good job.
I reckon they
They
do.
do such a good job, even though they got a key, they would rather go in with a drill.
Well, you never know when you could lose your key, but you can always find
Well,
your
you can
drill.
always find your drill. So,
Well, anyway, 562-9370,
that's
right?
vital care.
Yep.
Good people, if you want to be treated courteously, and if you want to help this community more than any other way, choose a private business. And I don't think, did you notice or have you mentioned that the one that heads the ambulance service got removed from office?
No, I didn't mention that today.
Yeah, that's Mr. Shekels.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you know, this is still
So
just
E.O. Martin got
You-
removed him from his office.
you could be on the wrong side of any political situation, I reckon.
Right, sure you can. But now he had made himself so important to the county, you know, that Lord, the county's gonna lose money 'cause they got rid of him. So, you know, they only lost, I don't know how many 100,000 with him. How much can you lose without him?
Well, now, I'm going to tell you what, I don't blame the director nearly as much as I blame the people that set up the system. We don't need that system set up the way it is anyway. We shouldn't be financing that thing when it would self-finance if we'd farm it out.
Sure, that's what I'm saying.
Plus, they would pay for the franchise.
Yeah, that's what I
If you
mean.
could bid it out.
And I'm sure that a private contractor wouldn't forget the bill for $600,000 himself. I'm just guessing. That's my experience of being broke and trying to run a business.
I know that in some cases where you dispatch an ambulance and the person may pass away, he might be indigenous, he might not have any funds to pay for his transportation. I realize that'll happen. But this money that was lost by the county was lost from failure to bill within that 180-day window. 6 months you got to get the bill into either Medicare, Medicaid, or perhaps even to private insurance. You got a window of time you got to do it. They didn't get in there. So,
You were going to say, sir, you come up with a there.
Yeah, was anybody ever held accountable for that $600,000?
I think that was just a uh-oh.
$600,000
people that
The people, the taxpayers though, they didn't just and they were held accountable.
we're always guilty when
Okay.
something like that happens.
Okay.
Now, we've had some beautiful weather, but it's been awfully cold.
It wasn't cold where I was at. I was using Digger's propane.
I was down there too and got me some of that good propane.
But it wasn't as good as mine.
Keep you warm?
Hmm.
Keep you warm?
I think so.
Digger's propane will keep you warm.
It
Well,
will
it's
do that.
hearing,
Man, they bled that tank. I think I had mesquite or something in the tank previously, and I was wanting some lemonade flavored propane. So they purged that tank good to make sure there was no mesquite left in there and filled it full of that lemonade flavored propane.
well, you know, I got that there chestnuts roasting over an open fire flavor for Christmas.
Right, yeah.
And got that.
Does that lemonade flavor come with ice?
No, you got to get your own. It takes care of the ice.
Oh,
problem.
okay.
562.
Get rid of the ice.
What is it? 562.
5444.
I thought it was 5444.
What, 5444?
Maybe that's it. 5444.
Yeah,
but it is
44,
562.
yeah.
We agree on that.
Right.
And he's still in the middle of the road at Sawmill Holler with a stop sign, ain't he?
He was trying to stop 100 foot of tubing, rubber tubing in a 3x3 box. And he said, all I gotta do is purge this box and I can get in here. I said, no, Digger, that is not a tank of propane. I said, you can't do the rubber hose that way.
He wasn't up on the stomping that big old
Well, he was
shoe.
trying to, yeah, he was trying to stomp it right in there. Folks, he's down Sawmill Holler, right where the road splits at Ellison Road. He's been there, I don't know how long.
He's right there beside the new stop sign, ain't he?
Yeah, there, he's right beside that newfangled stop sign. I don't know how long has he been there?
Digger?
Yeah.
I don't know, 30 years, I guess.
The great thing about Digger is the person he is, the character of the man and what he does.
It's
for
amazing he'd even hang around people like us.
His organization and what he does to help children and all that sort of thing. You just can't find a better person to do business with. And
No,
he'll always do you right. He has great ethics, morals, integrity like you wouldn't believe, just a great, honest man.
And they say he can
I agree
sing,
with
but I
you.
ain't never heard him.
They tell me that he at one time told the truth.
I'd say he did.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, reading this article and kind of putting all the, I don't know what you call it, Gruberisms, I guess, beside, the president in this free education thing, which I don't buy free. The only thing I believe free, like I say, is manna from the sky. This is not free.
Now wait a minute. Aren't books and free help with your homework, free books, free pencils and paper all go, free computers, laptops?
Oh
Is
yeah,
all that
it's
part
all
of it
free.
too?
Yeah. But here's what he's done.
I may go back to school and get one of them
I
laptops.
think we ought to go get certified teachers.
Let me show you what the bottom thing now. We can go back to all sorts of things about this Gruberism thing, but let me make this point too. This is going to cost, in my estimations, far more than anybody ever thought. We're looking at $30+ billion a year. But now here's what he's
Well,
done.
didn't Social Security start out and it was only maybe 2 or 3 billion at the beginning?
Yeah.
Wasn't gonna cost that much.
Medicare.
Oh,
Social income tax started out at 1/10 of 1%, didn't it?
yeah.
Oh, they got that thing figured out.
And you didn't have to pay unless you earned over $4,000 a year, and the average income then was about 1,000. So only lawyers in California and New York would have to pay any income tax.
Get us on the bottom line on this.
Let me show you what he's done to the Republicans here.
Okay.
He has stuck it to them good.
Okay, let's hear that.
He broke it off in them.
This is
Okay.
interesting. Let's-
Here's what he's going to do now. He's going to put this before Congress. Okay? Now, how in the world can the Republicans say, no, we're not going to finance for all this free education?
That would make them
Very
against
simple.
education.
That makes
And
them
against
No,
anything
it's very
free.
simple.
It's against the kids, what it is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
against the children.
Now wait a minute, you missed it. The Democrats have been doing it for years.
Well-
You keep it tied up in committee, okay? You keep it tied up in committee, and you never let it come to a vote.
They ain't got that much sense.
But look
You don't
here.
have that one.
They ain't got that much sense.
Look,
Mitch
whenever,
McConnell will just shoot it right out there.
whenever it goes before
Boner will too.
Boner, yeah.
I'm gonna bet.
Hey,
In the
he's
next
got
4 years,
he's got
they-
Alexander and
they-
Aflac behind it.
And it never comes to a vote in the U.S. House or Senate.
You think he
Well-
won't?
Will not.
It will
Hey,
too.
we
what does
funded,
this
we
right here
funded
say?
amnesty
What
last
does that
month.
right there say, Bob? In big letters. I believe you can see it.
I
It says
can't.
Obama's promise.
Yeah.
So,
Well, now that's a promise. Now what is a promise? Well, let's don't get into what a promise is. I kind of think I know what that
can't
means.
even decide
But-
what the meaning of the is. I
Yeah,
can't decide what
oh,
the
that's a
promise-
good one. But let me show you here. He's put the Republicans in a corner.
He's
All right, he's got them in a corner. If they vote this, if they even leave it set there, he's still got them.
That's right.
But he's got them either way because they're against the children. If they
Yeah,
don't, but
yeah.
here's the other.
Now, what you
okay.
what you do as a Republican, if you are a true Republican.
Well, now,
Well,
True,
wait a minute.
you're getting off on something else,
No,
Bobby.
no,
Don't
what
mean
I'm
that.
saying, if you, which Republicans is he sticking it to? The
Every
true
one of 'em.
Republicans, or which ones is he sticking it to?
All of them. They will not
okay.
vote.
If all of the Republicans will stay true to what a Republican is and send us back for the states to do, just like we're doing it here in Tennessee,
That ain't gonna happen.
the whole problem with Common Core and all this was trying to standardize education throughout this country. This is just another way of standardizing education on a different level throughout the country.
That's right, and the House and the Senate is going to stand up just like they did whenever they voted before they swore in the new people. They went and approved the budget through next October because they wanted to go ahead and get it over with before somebody come in to vote against it. They're going to approve this too. They're going to go along with everything
Well,
because I don't know what you're calling a true
Well,
Republican, but a
can't
true
appro-
conservative and a
I
true
don't think they
Republican.
can get it approved before the 20th day of this month. Because that's when the new people come in that might possibly vote against it.
It's too late now. It's done voted on and passed.
But if they do
I'm
vote
not talking
against
about
it,
the budget, I'm talking about this Obama's
Well,
promise.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you that they ain't got no guts either. They done sold out. They voted Obama
Oh, I know
back
that.
in.
I understand that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
If
let's-
they will stay true to what.
If they will.
yeah,
I know that. If they will. And if they don't, Okay, there's an if both ways. But if they do, then they can revert this thing back to the states and let the state
I agree.
handle the education.
But if they don't, is what's gonna happen.
Well, we're using
Now,
the word if.
Also, when the government starts throwing gold coins from the top steps of the forum, or Capitol, whatever you want to refer to it as.
You know, Cat Walker got rich throwing chickens off the top of the store.
Did you ever see that movie about that Cincinnati radio station where they
WKRP saved the show.
where they
And
dumped
God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
one Thanksgiving they dumped turkeys out of a helicopter and they were splatting all over.
That saved the show. That was their last show. They done canceled it. And that was so popular, it went on for another year and a half.
Well, another year and a half.
Fellas, if
They had
if the
they had a good looking
Republicans,
woman on that show too.
if the Republicans don't vote this, or if they don't vote it by, they're against the children. If they do vote it and pass it, then they've got to come up with some way to finance
The
it.
thing that bothers me
It ain't free,
about
I guarantee you.
this free education, money coming from the government, throwing in gold coins from the top steps of the Capitol, and I think our camera lady can verify this, is the tons of rules and regulations that's going to come with that money.
180 pages
is
application.
Basically, the federal government is going to take over the first 2 years of college curriculum in this country.
Yep, that's next.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that's all about, is getting control of the propagandization of the people, of the young people of this nation.
Let me show you.
The standardization that started with Common Core to standardize education all over this country, which I don't think it ought to be standardized. I think if people in Tennessee want to develop a toothbrush and somebody else wants to develop teeth brushes, that's fine with me. Doesn't make any difference. We do our thing here because it should be an independent entity within the scheme.
Well, you're talking anarchy, Bob.
You know, Bob, I invented the toothbrush. If Ron had invented it, they'd call it the teeth brush.
I doubt it.
Right. If I had it, I couldn't invent it because they would have called it no brush.
No brush. Nothing to brush.
It wouldn't have no bristles, would it?
Right. But whether you can operate a toothbrush or a teeth brush, if you operate a vehicle,
What does that stand for?
whether you operate a vehicle, whether it be on land, on water, or whether it be used to plow a garden or ferry stuff around like a forklift, you go to Napa Auto Sales, Auto Parts, which is National Automobile
Right across
Parts
from,
Association.
right across from Old Woodson,
Right,
which
across-
is now
right across from
IGA.
Across my
Right, on the corner of Jacksboro Pike and Old Jacksboro Pike, locally owned.
And I've been
locally
there,
operated.
and you get great service, you get great products.
Sure they do, and I just bought a jug of full flavored antifreeze.
No cut
Now
down
that watered
stuff.
down stuff, full flavored, that you can get probably about $2 cheaper than you get at the big box.
Yeah, they
store.
do your big flavor. They pay paper. They cut it in half, and so
Right.
you don't have to do it
Yeah.
yourself. And then they
What they
charge
do,
you
yeah.
almost as much.
Yeah, this is full flavor. So you need to go down to Napa. It's got good motor oil. He's got good accessories along with his parts. And whatever you need, if he hadn't got it, you go in there before 12 o'clock. He has there by 4 o'clock that afternoon. So that's Napa Auto Parts, 562-2529.
They believe in working. They'll carry your battery out to the car for you.
Said that right, yeah. They'll do that. Napa.
What's that stand for?
Right.
Well, gentlemen, during the president's visit, there came a time right there whenever he was at Pellissippi, they took a lunch break. Yeah, I believe he was gone for about an hour for lunch.
I hope he went down to Crazy Fred's.
Now, you fellas, here's a Gruberism in this thing. I also heard on the news that the president doesn't eat anything that's not been X-rayed, K-rayed, and bought through something or another and checked. He don't eat nothing off the counter down at Pellissippi. He don't go into the cafeteria and eat anything.
I don't blame him.
Okay, I don't either. But
You know he was in Earl Ray, what's his name?
James Earl Ray?
Yeah,
Well,
James Earl Ray's territory.
yeah, but here's the point I'm trying to make. He was off camera, off audio, video, and everything. Him, and I'm going to say the governor.
I would
Booker.
Hey, I would say Michelle packed him a lunch.
Now,
That was
well,
a house full of birds out in the backyard.
it don't
Probably
make no-
one of them
Watermelon sandwiches.
model lunches they're using to go into the public schools that live
Fellas.
now. That people,
What did he do when he was a...
average lunches have dropped over 1 million lunches a day.
We
or
may get an
something
air
nationwide.
strike here, you know that?
Do what?
We may
Oh,
be
a drone?
subject to an air strike here.
Fellas, in my opinion, this 1 hour that he spent off camera, audio, video, and everything, out of the eyes of everything, where I'm going to say the governor, the congressman, and everybody else went into this. The students didn't go in there and eat with him, I guarantee you. And I'd say there was nothing to eat. This is where I think the deals were made. There's $259 million in some kind of a partnership thing like Solyndra and some other stuff. And this is where the
Well, it's not
handshakes...
going to end up like Solyndra, is it?
Well, I don't know, but this is where the handshakes and the deals, in my opinion, were made during this lunch that wasn't a lunch.
Now,
And
what
that's what this
business?
is about.
What business in Clinton did he visit?
Something to do
Well,
with
where they made them there computer printed cars.
3D printers or something. But anyhow,
You
fellas,
know, there's been a history of Obama visiting companies and them going belly up short time afterward.
Yeah.
Is there anything valid to that?
No.
But the
I
higher ups
hope he
always
didn't
leave
go
with
like
them there
Solyndra.
golden umbrellas.
well, gentlemen, that's my opinion of this thing. The president did not come to a place called Clinton just to give a little speech on something or another. There was more to this. There's too many top people.
Is it true one of the top managers or maybe the top guy that runs that company is married to our new chancellor or judge?
I heard that
don't
on
know.
the talk show that he was a manager or something of it, but I don't
Works
think that
on-
had
works
any.
on the-
I don't think that had any
He changed
bearing
his
on it.
name.
I think that's just a coincidence
I
if
don't
there is
know,
such thing.
She still goes by Asbury, doesn't she?
I just wonder if he's a Mr. Asbury.
Probably.
Well, gentlemen, time will tell, and I'm going to get my little book out and write down free as a 4-letter word, because that's one I got to remember. What's free?
Don't use Common Core to try to count how many letters is in that word now, or you
Well,
will get it messed
We all
up.
got to pray for Jerry, give him strength and grease his tongue for Tuesday, because he's going to need it.
Well, associated with us, he's going to be in big trouble.
Yeah. I think that's why he's in big trouble now.
That may be it.
Oh, I think I'm under the umbrella of a great state senator and a great state representative from our district. I think I'm going to be well taken care of. They are so pro-business here locally that you know, when they help existing businesses out as much as they can.
Out's the key word, you're right.
So I think we're going to be really.
Well, if your program is analyzed under its merits, you've got nothing to worry about. But if it's political, I don't want to say if it's political, because I've seen what political things do, and I don't think there's
They'll
hardly.
get you junk thrown over the hill.
That's right. There's very few things that go on
Well,
anymore that are not
they
political.
threw your junk over the hill and then called EPA on you.
And I had to pay cleaned up.
Oh boy, Mr. Inman just doesn't know what he's in for, does he?
No, he ain't bit the bullet yet.
He ain't bit the bullet yet.
Well, we haven't got very many calls, or else we've missed them. I guess we've ticked everybody off today. But I'm changing my way of seeing things. I think if a man can just walk down and call
There was a man
free.
down the business yesterday that was really touting the greatness of Obama.
Well,
And so when we asked him exactly what he done, they said, well, he's been a lot better than Bush.
oh,
Well, what's he done?
what's he done though?
Huh?
What's he done?
It's
Well,
been been
I tell you what he's
it's
done.
been as bad as Bush.
What he's done is he's brought my attention to the word free. Anybody that can do the
You know,
things that he can do.
the thing that really bothers me, and
Now-
this does go back to Bush,
Let me.
is we got the worst attack on American soil in our history, worse than the invasion of the British in 1812, worse than the invasion of the French in the French-Indian War. We are really have been assaulted badly, and nothing's been done about it.
Well, let me go
We get a
back.
few SUVs
Yeah.
every now and then out in the desert with one of them drones.
Let me make one more point about this thing, then I'll surrender my time because I've took up a lot of it.
You already used your 5 minutes.
I done used my 3 minutes now. The
Three.
president does not have to send this to Congress. He didn't have to send the immigration bill. He didn't have to send any of this stuff to Congress.
Unless he wants money for
Well, no, it don't matter. All he's got to do is sign an executive order. Don't send it to Congress. It don't have to be voted on. He has the power by just, and I've seen his signature. All he's got to do is make a zero in a straight line.
Hey,
And it's law.
Did Congress vote on that $400 million vacation?
No,
he
sir.
his
And that's
family
what I'm
took to
saying.
Africa?
He don't have
We got
to.
One
one
minute,
minute.
bro.
1 minute.
Right, we got about
got
1
1
minute,
minute.
even though the clock says we got 4 minutes and 45 seconds. We want to tell you we appreciate you tuning in to us. This has been the Obama rallying point here, and we
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you on Tuesday night on UGG at UGTV.tv.
And it's free.
Okay.
We may not be on this